the headlines of VTV News. Collective efforts needed to preserve and promote ethnic group cultural identities. Ethnic villages engaged in new-style rural construction in DIEN. And later on in our world news, according to IMF, Asia-Pacific economy is on recovery.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of VTV News, broadcast live to you from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Pham, and here's the top news of the hour. In commemorating Vietnamese Ethnic Groups Culture Day on April the 19th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính convened a meeting on Friday with village elders, heads, artisans, and esteemed figures representing ethnic communities. These individuals have significantly contributed to preserving and promoting the nation's traditional cultural heritage. Stay tuned for further updates.
During the meeting, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính conveyed warm greetings, withheld wishes and kind regards from Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng to village elders, chiefs, exemplary artisans and esteemed figures nationwide. Expressing his opinions, the Prime Minister met with 128 outstanding individuals from the National Unity Bloc, exemplifying patriotism, responsibility, enthusiasm, and dedication to cultural development. The Prime Minister highlighted the party and state's continuous commitment to preserving and promoting traditional cultural values, emphasizing the significant role played by village elders, chiefs, artisans, and esteemed figures in achieving outstanding cultural milestones.
Literary and artistic endeavors, being boundless, serve as the most accessible means to unite and inspire people, contributing significantly to the preservation of our national identity and culture. These practical activities should originate from grassroots levels, from villages, necessitating collective efforts to safeguard our cultural heritage. Following the National Cultural Conference in November 2021, party committees, authorities, and communities at all levels increasingly prioritize cultural preservation. Throughout this developmental journey, village elders, chiefs, exemplary artisans, and esteemed figures serve as the nucleus and custodians of cultural activities.
In addition to acknowledging achievements, the Prime Minister expressed concerns regarding various challenges confronting the preservation and promotion of national culture. These challenges include the erosion of traditional cultural identities, inadequate preservation efforts, damage to heritage sites, emergence of non-cultural elements, and limited progress within cultural industry. The Prime Minister outlined 6 key task groups for ministries, branches, and localities to address these issues and enhance future endeavors. The Prime Minister urged village elders, chiefs, artisans, and esteemed individuals to continue keeping and spreading the flame, thereby contributing to preserving and promoting our national cultural identity.
While receiving Chinese Minister of Justice Hie Rong in Hanoi on April the 19th, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính requested the Ministries of Justice of Vietnam and China to foster cooperation and mutual support, placing them on par with leading examples of bilateral relations. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính suggested that the cooperation focus on building the rule of law and state legislation, enhancing partnerships in training high-quality human resources, and providing judicial assistance in line with bilateral and multilateral international treaties to which both nations are signatories. For her part, Hie Rong briefed Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on the outcomes of her working sessions with Vietnamese ministries, sectors, and agencies. She agreed with Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính recommendations and confirmed that she would work closely with the Vietnamese Ministry of Justice to promote cooperative activities in a more practical and effective fashion, in accordance with the agreements reached by the senior leadership of both nations. On the same day, Vietnam's Minister of Public Security General Tô Lâm and the head of the Central Internal Affairs Commission Phan Đình Trạc met with Chinese Minister of Justice He Rong. More to follow.
Vietnamese Minister of Public Security General Tô Lâm held talks with Chinese Minister of Justice He Rong in Hanoi on April the 19th. The talks also aimed to continue realizing a joint statement on deepening and elevating the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership between the two countries and building a Vietnam-China community with a shared future that carries strategic significance. He Rong, for her part, affirmed that cooperation in law enforcement and judicial matters between China and Vietnam has been growing, aiming toward the goal of governing and managing their countries by law and ensuring satisfaction among citizens of both nations. Concluding the talks, they signed a memorandum of understanding on cooperation between the Ministry of Public Security and the Chinese Ministry of Justice.
At the reception of Chinese Minister of Justice He Rong, head of Central Internal Affairs Commission Phan Đình Trạc also proposed that the two sides increase the sharing of research achievements, theory, and summary of practice in building a socialist rule of law state, judicial reform, preventing corruption, controlling power, fighting group interests in building laws, serving the cause of the two countries. The head of Central Internal Affairs Commission appreciated the two sides' agreement to establish a mechanism for judicial conferences of provinces sharing the Vietnam-China border.
Venezuelan Pre President Nicolas Maduro has expressed his impression of Vietnam's recent development achievements becoming a role model for many countries worldwide, including Venezuela. Maduro was speaking during his meeting with Vietnamese Deputy Prime Minister Trần Lưu Quang in Caracas on April the 18th local time. He welcomed Quang's visit, which he said would open a new period of cooperation between the two countries. Quang, for his part, briefed his host on the outcome of his earlier meetings with Venezuelan ministers and businesses and suggested that both sides increase high-level visit exchanges, improve the effectiveness of existing cooperation mechanisms, and promote economic, trade, and investment cooperation. The two sides agreed to prepare for high-level leader visits, soon convene the fourth session of the Vietnam-Venezuela Intergovernmental Committee, and deploy other cooperation mechanisms between their foreign ministries and businesses. The State Bank is prepared to stabilize exchange rates and boost gold market supply via upcoming gold bar auctions, which are anticipated to occur next Monday. The State Bank's leader recently confirmed this during Friday's press conference regarding monetary and credit policy.
The State Bank employs various tools, aside from flexible management, to uphold exchange rate stability. In March, it withdrew 170 trillion Vietnam dong via T-bills to alleviate the surplus of Vietnam dong in the market, consequently easing short-term exchange rate pressures. Additionally, the agency affirmed its readiness to intervene in the market to stabilize exchange rates.
On Friday, we publicly disclosed the spot selling rate for credit institutions with negative foreign currency status on the State Bank's website, which is set at 25,450 Vietnam dong per dollar. This move aims to alleviate market concerns and ensure smooth market operations.
We will use our tools, including foreign exchange reserves, to sell, intervene in the market, and stabilize exchange rates in case of necessity.
The State Bank is prepared to boost the supply of gold bars through bidding as per gold market regulations. Last Friday, the State Bank of Vietnam collected deposits from businesses and organizations intending to partake in the forthcoming gold auction.
We have informed 15 credit institutions and businesses about their participation in the upcoming gold auction scheduled for next Monday.
The State Bank has swiftly intervened, ensuring supply clarity and meeting legitimate foreign currency demands. A series of robust measures have been implemented in the foreign exchange and gold markets. Following the SBV's announcement of intervention to stabilize the exchange rate, the market responded positively, with foreign currency transactions falling below the SBV's selling level.
Amid Vietnam's complex and lengthy regulations and procedures concerning work permits for foreign workers, the government has issued Decree 70. This decree amends and supplements various regulations regarding work permits for foreign employees in Vietnam. This simplification is expected to offer numerous benefits to both foreign workers and employers, fostering trust and attracting more foreign investors to Vietnam.
One of the highlights of Decree 70, issued on September 18, 2023, is that foreign workers only need to have graduated from university or higher and have at least 3 years of work experience suitable for the job position they plan to work in Vietnam. Employers will now only need to report to the authorities 15 days in advance of the commencement of a foreign worker's employment, instead of the previous 30 days. With these changes, applying for a work permit for a foreign teacher like Alex has become much more convenient and faster.
The major things we've seen a difference in is the reduction of paperwork, which has helped us all enormously. It saved us time, it saved us money, it means it's easier and a lot more efficient.
Recently we've noticed some real benefits from changes to work permit regulations. So one of them is the reduction in time that we need to inform the authorities before having a new worker. This has really helped us reduce time and also reduce delays in obtaining the work permits as well. So it's been really smooth and beneficial to us, yeah.
With globalization, the cross-border movement of labor is becoming inevitable. Notably, the influx of foreign workers in Vietnam has been steadily rising year after year. While businesses and associations have observed improvements in work permit regulations, there remains substantial groundwork to be covered in establishing conducive conditions for foreign workers in Vietnam.
There are industries cannot be developed without foreign workers. I would say experts, like managers, high-skilled people. They are like IT experts, they are managers, they are like scientists. Highly specialized people should be treated differently because it's a different need from the economy to have these people.
The new regulations issued in September 2023 are welcome news for foreign investors, but we also want to improve further. We don't just need experts, we also need some middle managers and direct workers. It's evident that improvements in work permit procedures are closely linked to the investment expansion efforts of foreign investors.
Investor confidence increases when the government prioritizes addressing and streamlining paperwork challenges, particularly regarding foreign work permit. This proactive approach allows them to expand their operations and maintain stability in Vietnam. As a result, businesses can pursue further investment opportunities in Vietnam.
Coming up next, ethnic villages engaged in new-style rural construction in Dien Bien. And cherry blossoms bloom in Da Lat City. You're watching VTV News. The Central Highlands region is experiencing a severe heat wave. Temperatures may exceed the highest level ever recorded in 2020. In Gia Lai, it is forecast that at the end of April and May, the temperature in some places may reach more than 41 degrees Celsius, combined with low rainfall. Prolonged heat has caused water levels in many irrigation ponds and lakes to plummet and even dry up in some places. Hundreds of hectares of crops have been seriously damaged due to drought, including long-term crop accumulation. Gia Lai Province requires departments and branches to closely monitor the minimum flow downstream from hydroelectric and irrigation projects. It also plans to release water downstream for domestic and agricultural use. Like the Central Highlands, the Mekong Delta regions are also experiencing a serious drought. The intense and prolonged heat has left more than 50,000 households facing water shortages for domestic and agricultural use. However, in Dien province, the community has joined forces to meaningfully support locals overcome their difficulties.
Many community members have donated money or volunteered to provide free fresh water during the drought. The project was established in early April when water supplies began to dry up. So far, it has delivered over 3,700 cubic meters of water to people in need.
Tap water stops running due to the saline drought. Understanding this difficulty, I have called for community support to provide free water from barges to local people and to maintain this activity until the drought is over.
Dien province has installed over 110 public water taps. The local authorities also established teams to transport water to support older people and people with illnesses or mobility difficulties.
We came here to bring fresh water to your families, hoping to help you overcome the water shortage in your daily lives.
Local residents are extremely excited to get water in this drought-prone area. They come to fetch water after farming. If used economically, a few cans of water for each individual can be sufficient for several days.
I'm so happy that I can't sleep at night. I no longer have to travel 2 kilometers to get water anymore.
The water supplies can be full or low. Sharing in the community never dries up. These acts of kindness show a strong sense of solidarity and are long-standing traditions in the country.
In Điện Biên, many Hmong ethnic villages actively engage in new-style rural construction. Transitioning from traditional farming, the ethnic community is exploring new economic opportunities with the support of the government and the wider community. By tapping into various societal resources, their quality of life is improving. Let's find out more about the Điện Biên Đông district.
Having only worked in the fields for generations, the Hmong people's lives in Tia Lo village have been transformed. These days, women in the village are occupied with various new jobs.
These are clothing embellishments. I aim to create more exquisite products to attract tourists during the community tourism season. If they fancy our items, they may purchase them.
When the community tourism project started, 12 households willingly joined the pilot. They beautified gardens, arranged tourist accommodations, and restored traditional Hmong houses, preserving their customs and culture.
People are highly supportive and eager to adapt their lifestyle, gradually letting go of outdated customs in favor of this new economic model.
Situated far from the district center, the dispersal and living conditions posed challenges for government and community activities in the past. Recognizing the need for cultural institutions to unite and organize people, Điện Biên Đông district has rallied resources to construct village cultural houses.
Due to limited resources, we initiated socialization efforts, gathering approximately 1,900 to 2,540 euro. Residents also contribute to the cause. Construction primarily involves villagers, showcasing a collaborative effort between the political system and the community. We've completed 198 village cultural houses through socialized capital.
Previously, it took people several days to walk to reach the common center. Now, with a village cultural house, people can conveniently gather for meetings, learning, and socializing. 70 years after the historic Điện Biên Phủ victory, the transformation into a new-style rural countryside is spreading, bringing prosperity to ethnic villages.
Many people with disabilities used to feel reluctant or even afraid of going out on the street. However, there have been positive changes over the past 10 years. More public spaces are equipped with facilities for people living with disabilities. However, greater efforts are needed to support this vulnerable group in their daily lives.
For the past few years, Đức Anh has traveled by rapid transit or electric bus. The entrance to the bus station is not too steep. The station's platform matches the height of the vehicle floor, or the vehicle's floor can automatically adjust. However, there remain many difficulties when walking along the street.
It's a lot of pressure. Large vehicles obscure my vision, making it very difficult to monitor the road. Big curves or crowded sidewalks with vehicles or vendor shops make it very difficult for me to commute.
Not only people with disabilities, but most people face difficulties when walking on the sidewalk with so many obstructions. Additionally, not all sidewalks have tactile paving for people with disabilities.
Many roads have different functions, but no tactile paving guide paths exist for people with blindness.
Vietnam issued a technical regulation on disability access to buildings and facilities 10 years ago. Consequently, many railway and bus stations have facilities to meet accessibility requirements. These include ramps, priority seats at the ticket office, and suitable toilets. It is estimated that 30 to 40% of all traffic infrastructure has not been upgraded to meet standards. In comparison, approximately 30% of bus stations have infrastructure to ensure accessibility to people with disabilities.
For the legal regulations to be effective, we must first raise the awareness of public transportation employees and enhance their skills to support people with disabilities safely.
As many difficulties navigating the streets remain for people with disabilities, Đức Anh feels blessed to live in a big city where he can easily travel with adaptive support.
Both residents and tourists in Đà Lạt City are surprised at how many cherry blossom trees are currently blooming. The season is believed to be around 2 weeks, which normally falls during the Tết holiday. But this latest blossoming is attributed to the rains at the end of March. This also shows that climate change is affecting the trees blossoming. Coming up next in our world news, according to IMF, Asia-Pacific economy is on recovery. And dengue cases surged by nearly 50% in Americas. The Asia-Pacific region's economy is on the path to recovery and making a major contribution to global economic growth. This opinion came from an International Monetary Fund, or IMF, economist at Thursday's press conference on the Asia-Pacific region's economy. Overall, the region is projected to grow 4.5% this year, up 0.3 percentage points from the October forecast. Asia is expected to contribute roughly 60% of global economic growth this year. The so-called ASEAN 5, including Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand, are forecast to rise by 4.5%. Vietnam is projected to achieve gross domestic product growth closer to 6%. Countries continue to face challenges from inflation, although the level in each country is different. In addition, the economic growth of China, the US, and Europe is assessed to greatly impact these countries' growth.
Growth will be 7% instead of 6% that we had.
Dengue cases have created an emergency in the Americas, although cases in hotspots, Argentina and Brazil, appear to have stabilized. According to the head of the Pan American Health Organization on Thursday, more than 5.2 million dengue cases were identified across the Americas this year. This is an over 48% jump from the 3.5 million cases the group reported late last month. More than 1,800 people have died from the mosquito-borne viral illness, up from over 1,000 deaths reported last month. The head of this UN agency anticipated a reduction in dengue infections due to the recent drop in temperatures in South American countries. On the contrary, the upcoming hot summer in the Northern Hemisphere creates favorable conditions for mosquito breeding. In comparison, vaccination programs in these countries show lower efficacy against new dengue fever outbreaks. Hospitals in Barcelona, Spain are launching a groundbreaking program with therapy dogs to help improve the well-being of patients admitted to the ICU. These initiatives seek to improve patients' moods through interaction with the dogs, creating an environment where patients can benefit from the bond between animals and people. More to follow.
Joel Bueno says he shed tears of joy when therapy dogs Vida and Lou visited him for the first time on his second day at the ICU at Barcelona's Hospital del March.
When they told me what I had and that I was going to remain in the hospital for who knows how long, I felt everything going down, work, everything. And when they told me that some dogs could come to visit, it was like, wow, my sister was there, and it was great. From there, it was up. I was very happy.
The Hospital del Mar in Barcelona is one of the first hospitals in Spain to allow a team of therapy dogs to cheer up patients admitted to the intensive care unit. The program provides patients with 2 15 to 20-minute visits each week.
Obviously, patients are very worried about their physical and emotional situation, so therapy like this helps take a bit of stress off them. The idea of increasing those substances related to well-being is what we want to prove in the research.
To support this, the project will analyze saliva samples collected from patients before and after a therapy session to check whether stress indicators like cortisol decrease while those related to well-being, like oxytocin and serotonin, increase. Patients aren't the only ones benefiting from the project. Many staff members in the high-octane emergency ward also enjoy having the canines around and bonding with them. Bueno has no doubts about the trial's benefits. Just the news that some dogs might pop by for a visit was an immediate morale boost.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store, Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.